Hello, everyone. Thank you for those of you who have joined this live stream today. I appreciate you for coming and seeing this episode of Your Guide on Ghana, where I'm talking to you about buying land and buying property in Ghana. Today, my guest is an expert in this industry, and I hope that you get an opportunity to learn a lot from what he will be sharing today. Now, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are in the world as you are watching this live stream. As I mentioned, a lot of people ask how to buy land, how to buy property in Ghana. And I'll be speaking with Kingsley Yaw Sam, the special guest today, who is a managing partner of Land and Homes Consult. He graduated from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in 2012, and he's worked with the Asantehene's land specialist for 8 years in the Ashanti region of Ghana in Kumasi. He has extensive expertise in land surveying, spatial solutions, land law, and land management and real estate development in Ghana. Now, as I mentioned, he is the managing partner of Land and Homes Consult, and he's also the immediate and past president of Fig Young Surveyors African Network. He's also a member of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. He also holds a Bachelor of Science in Geomatic Engineering from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and it has a postgraduate diploma in wireless networking and cybersecurity from George Brown College in Canada. He's led Homes and Consult. He's led Land Homes and Consult to develop several base projects, including the Dar es Salaam and the Gracious Hills projects, which are both in Kumasi, and we'll talk about that today in today's live stream. So I'm going to welcome Yaw to this conversation. Kingsley Yaw Sam. Let me know, do you want me to call you Kingsley? Do you want me to call you Mr. Sam? Yaw, what is your preference?
Ivy, just call me Big Sam. Big Sam. Everyone knows Big Sam, so just say Big
Big
Sam.
Sam.
And you
All
are
right.
good.
Everybody calls
Big
him
Sam.
Big
No.
Sam. All right. Big Sam.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time today to talk about land in Ghana. I see there's a lot of questions already coming into
Yeah.
the live stream already. But before we dig into some of the questions, I want to mention, because I did mention that you have a postgraduate from George Brown in Canada. You also studied in Ghana. You are specializing in land in Ghana. So that means are you going back and forth between the two countries? I'd love to know what made you decide to go into the business of land and properties, especially when I think about the fact that your postgraduate is in cybersecurity, and it just seems so opposite of land. So if you can introduce yourself briefly and talk about why you got into land in Ghana, and if you're still going back and forth
Okay.
with Canada.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Ivy, for having me. I mean, I'm so grateful for making this possible. Um, well, like you said, I would start from a bit about my background. So I've always been an IT, learned an IT person, always. And even when I was in school getting my degree in geomatic engineering, I was still working a lot in the IT field. And like you said, they're not opposite. We correct you, but land. We are going to we are going to borrow a lot of technology, especially when it comes to like blockchain technology from IT, and we are going to bring over that to land. That will make like land transactions very secure. So these are not like opposite sides of a coin. Actually, like we need a lot of like blockchain to make land transactions very safe. You know how like I don't want to go so much into IT because today is about land. It's not easy to hack or kind of like break a blockchain transaction because of the way like it's set up. It's set up in such a way that like you have like your private key and you also have a public key to your transaction. So if I want to transact business with Ivy, I just have to give you my public key. I don't have to give you my private key. And if you know my public key, you know it's coming from me. And if you also kind of like want to buy into that same transaction, All you need is like my public key, and then we just do the transaction, and I'm just going to verify my private key. That way, that transaction is very secure, and we have to port that technology, that kind of blockchain technology we use like in cryptocurrency. You have Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and stuff. These are all like applications based on like blockchain technology, and land transactions have to adapt that. In fact, there's already like a lot of research going on in that field. So that's why I have like a lot of interest in IT. So that's a bit about the background. Now, about like why I keep going for the back and forth between Ghana and Canada. It's not just between Ghana and Canada, but like I travel a lot. You mentioned I was like the immediate past president of the Young Surveyors Network. That's the International Federation of Surveyors, FIG. Um, we have a lot of conferences all over the world, and our next conference is in Poland. And I told myself I'm not going because it's too close to Russia. You know,
You're
I
going
didn't
to,
want to
you
like,
said
go
you're
and
going to
miss out.
Poland?
Yeah, that's our next. We're supposed to be in Warsaw in September,
Okay,
and I'm
for the
like,
land
yeah,
surveying.
I'm not. Yeah, for the land conference, and I
Okay.
told him like, no, I'm not going because it's too close to Russia. Because I don't want to go to
Mm,
Russia.
mm, mm,
I don't
mm.
want to get anywhere close to the conflict. And so that's about like traveling. And I've been traveling a lot in the past. We've been in Rwanda, we've been in Botswana, Senegal, Finland, you just name it, the US. And so it's like we have like working like as a group of young surveyors and like extensive knowledge. I mean, these help you kind of like have an overview of what's going on in other countries. I was surprised when at conferences there was a presentation about land in Poland, and I was surprised to learn that they had like land conflict in Poland. I thought everywhere in Europe was like, Europe is like developed. I didn't know they had land conflicts in Poland. There was this time too we went to Rwanda. And Rwanda has like a very nice land regime, so they've been able to kind of like take out most of the problems from their land system and virtually like digitize all their transactions. So it's really very easy to get like land documents or land papers in Rwanda. It's like you just hit a button and like in a day or two you have like your land certificate. And
Okay.
so these are like kind of like the experiences that we pick up from conferences and from having seminars all over the world. And of course, it's all just to help us like serve people better. So basically, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Now I want to show a quick clip here because, as mentioned, you do work for this organization. You are a managing director doing the land and homes consult, and so you've been doing a lot of work in Ghana right now. Just showing a few clips here. This is showing a piece of one of your developments. I see some land demarcated here. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I wanted to briefly show this so people can see that, you and your team, you're out there, you're doing things. And you're primarily in the Ashanti region. A lot of people in Ghana, when they're looking to buy land, they're often talking about Greater Accra is one of the big ones that people often talk about, although people are starting to look at other regions as well. I don't often hear people talk too much about Kumasi and the Ashanti region, particularly the diaspora community tends to not necessarily. But what I do find is Ghanaians whose families are from that area are the ones who seem to look more at Kumasi based on people I've had interactions with. So for people who are not aware, the Ashanti region, this is the location on the map in Ghana. And Kumasi is the second biggest city in Accra with about, I think, 3.3 million people in Greater Kumasi area. It's a commercial industrial hub in the Ashanti region. So Kumasi is definitely a place that people can look at as a potential place to invest in. So I would love for you to address why you chose Kumasi in the Ashanti region. Is it a place that people can look at and say it's a good investment?
Well, thank you very much, Ivy. Basically, I would answer the question by saying I didn't choose Kumasi. Kumasi chose me. Actually, I grew up in Accra. I speak Ghana, so
Interesting.
yeah, I speak Ghana. I grew up in Accra. To be honest with you, Accra is the most vibrant land market we have in Ghana. You know, and I won't lie because like Accra is more vibrant than Kumasi in terms of the land market and the kind of
Okay.
transactions that go on. Yeah.
Okay.
However, Kumasi provides like a very good alternative. Like I would say it's possible if you ask me to project, because Kumasi's land size is bigger and the Ashanti region is bigger than the Greater Accra region. I would say with time, um, Kumasi's land market might overtake that of Accra. It's very possible. It's not too far fetched. I mean, already we have like a lot of like shortage in Accra, where in Kumasi we have a lot of like good lands that are properly located. And I would say, like you rightly said, the Greater Kumasi area has a population of about 3 million, and if you extend it to the region itself, you are looking at about 5 million. That's from like the latest population census the government came up with. So that makes Kumasi like has like a good population base for like any business. And gradually, Kumasi is kind of like becoming more like Accra. It's becoming more like a cosmopolitan. We say like a megapolis. It's you're having like we have a lot of extractive industries in the Ashanti region. You are looking at like gold, diamond, bauxite. You are looking at granite for construction. So, and when you really come to the commercial aspect too, there's a lot of like commercial activities going on in Kumasi. Ashantis are naturally known as like the business people of Ghana. So it's not a surprise that the Ashanti region is like the second biggest city in Ghana after Accra. And so this places Kumasi as like one of like the good places to invest. And you said something. You said you always hear about people talking about Accra, but I hear a lot of people talking about Kumasi and a lot of calls coming in and asking me for lands in Kumasi for various projects.
Okay.
And even though Accra is like a more vibrant market, we also have like a lot of people from the diaspora. So Ashantis travel a lot. So I could tell you there are more Ashantis in the diaspora than any other indigenous group in Ghana. I could say I'm not saying as a fact. I don't have the figures, but I could just presume that there are more Ashantis out there. So obviously, there's a lot more kind of like questions or requests for land. Well, Accra is the primary market, but Kumasi also I would say Kumasi also packs a punch. And I didn't choose Kumasi per se. So I told you I grew up in Accra. And so I came to, so it was time to go to the university, and I happened to get admission at the Nkrumah University of Science and Technology to pursue a bachelor's degree in genetic engineering. So I came to Kumasi. And to be honest with you, like you said, most of my colleagues just after school, they just like, okay, let me go back to Accra and egg out a living. And I was like, at that time, I didn't have anything like, I was like, no, why not stay here and see what the place has to offer? So it's like, okay, it's time to do your national service, which is mandatory, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm in Ghana, like after school, you have to do a mandatory 1 year of national service. So I decided to do my national service, and I was posted to the Land Secretariat at Malaysia. And so I started out there as a land surveyor. And so with time, I realized that, there's a lot of problems, like there's a lot of opportunities that opportunities always come with problems. You can't take it. You can't take one and leave the other. It's like they go together. So I was like, wow, this is something worth exploring. So let's take it. So in staying put, I had the opportunity to learn and to get to understand the land system. I mean, the land system in Ghana varies from, let's say, region to region, but if you take off like the layers, or you take off the blanket, you realize that it's the same basic principle. It's not really kind of like say the differences are not so vast. For instance, you would say land in Accra is owned mainly by the families. Okay, like we have families, we have schools in Accra too. But we believe that in Ghana, we believe that even if it's a stew, it's made up of families. Or even if it's a clan, it's made up of families. So the
So
families own the land and
before you continue, I don't mean to interrupt, but I want you to actually explain this, because there's a lot of people who don't understand the different types of land. Because you're talking about stool, you're talking about family, and there's people in the diaspora who are a little bit confused because of, you know, chiefs saying that they're giving land, you know, chiefs offering land to diaspora communities, people going and buying land and not sure exactly what they can trust or what they know. So explain the difference between stool land, between family land. What is the difference for people to understand?
Basically, Ivy, basically, there isn't any difference, to be honest with you. It's just the way land is owned in the community. So I would start from the northern part of Ghana. So when you go to the northern part of Ghana, there is a society, there's a community, and they believe whoever should give out the land there should be someone with some kind of like spiritual authority. So when you go to the northern part of Ghana, they tell you, oh, it's the Tendana, like the high priest that can like give out the land. Okay, even though there are chiefs who sit on scales, so they don't sit on stools, they sit on scales, like
So you're
animal
saying that
skin and
the
stuff.
northern Ghana, the spiritual authority will regulate the land.
Exactly,
Okay, I'm
exactly.
putting this on the
In
screen.
most
I
cases,
want to make sure
yeah,
I'm hearing
yeah,
you
you can
correctly.
put it on. Yeah. Then when you come to the middle belt, that's like Ashanti, Brona, okay, you find out that over there in the middle belt, they believe that is the chief or the caretaker chief that have to give out the land or regulate it, like you said. So basically, for the middle belt, it's that system. And then when you come to, let's say, coming to the eastern part, the Volta region and Greater Accra, you realize that over there, then they said is the family heads, like Ebusian Penny, like in a kind we say Ebusian Penny, but like the family heads that should alienate it. In anyway, the laws that govern it is the same. For instance, Tendana in the northern region cannot give you 100 years because the law says the maximum should be 99 years. If you come to Accra or the Volta region, a family head cannot alienate land and say, I've given it to you for 500 years. The law doesn't allow that. When you go to Kumasi and the Akan areas, like the western region, where the chiefs have a lot of power, the chief can't say, I'm going to give you 200 years. The law is the same. So whoever has the head title or the root title is the one that can give it up. So that's where we have a lot of confusions, because you would say, oh, why don't we have like chiefs giving out land in the whole of Ghana? It makes it easier. But unfortunately, every part of Ghana has like its own kind of culture, tradition, beliefs. You know, we have a lot of like different kind of festivals, like different groups of people. You know Ghana very well. You know how like Ghana is organized. Like you have like the Akan group, you have the Northern group, you have the LS, you have the Gans. So I mean, they have that, like they have their own traditional systems. And so if in Ashanti the chiefs have power, it doesn't mean necessarily the chiefs have power in the Volta region. Because to be honest with you, when you go to the Volta regions, they believe the chief is from a family. So if you're from a family and you're a chief, you should deal with just your family land. You shouldn't just have the whole community's land at your disposal. But when you come to the Ashanti region, you find out that the king, Otufo, is the symbol of authority. He controls everything, and all the chiefs are under him. So in Ashanti, we say that we call them caretaker chiefs because they take care of the lands on behalf of Otufo, who is the king. So these are some of the differences like we have in the area. So you ought to be very careful where you are trying to acquire land. Probably you went to the Volta region and you went to maybe the Adaklu Mountain area and you like the scenery and you want to acquire land there. You should know the kind of system pertaining to that area before you start your process. And maybe you come to Ashanti region and you want land. You should know that kind of system before you start the process. So Ivy, you realize that like the traditional system kind of like affects the way land is alienated. You can't you can't take away the traditional system and take away the land and say they are two separate things. For instance, in Ashanti, not all chiefs have land. You know that? But land is also
Not
a
all
symbol.
chiefs have land.
Yeah, there are some chiefs who don't own land. They are chiefs, all right, but they don't have any land to alienate. And their land is like a symbol of authority for chiefs in Ashanti. And when you go to other areas, they have chiefs. Like in the Volta region, they do have chiefs, right?
Yes.
So yeah, they have chiefs in the Volta region, but the chiefs in the Volta region have authority over their family land, but not someone else's family land. So assuming there are 10 families in the community, right? Every family head has rights over their land, their specific land. And they can alienate it and say, oh, okay, someone wants a piece of our land. So we want to give a piece of our land to that person. And there should be no problem.
Okay. All right. So you've gone into a lot there. One of the things that I wanted to get into now are some of the questions people have, because I know that there's a lot of questions people have when it comes to land in Ghana. Before I dive into that, somebody said, "Where in Accra were you born?" So I don't know if you want to answer
Oh,
that question.
yeah. I wasn't born. I was born in Takoradi, but
Oh, you're
I
born.
grew up in Accra. Yeah, I was
Okay.
born in Takoradi, but I grew up in Accra.
Okay.
So like I'm a Ghanaian, I'm everywhere. I went, yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah,
So, and Fred also mentions Kumasi land size is
yeah.
24,869
Kumasi
square
is bigger than
kilometers,
Accra. Yeah,
and
Kumasi is
Accra's
bigger
land
than
size is only 3245. So there's definitely more land in
is
Kumasi.
in Kumasi. Yeah,
Then I have a comment here. Wish his connection was a little better. It's a little difficult to follow him. You have been breaking up a little bit. The sound, the picture is fine. It's the sound that's been a little choppy.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why I keep repeating some of the things you're saying to make sure that I heard you correctly. And it's also why
That's
I wanted
okay.
to start putting some of the things on the screen as well so that people know
That's okay.
what's being said. So from time to time, I may ask you to repeat what you're saying so that people can
Sure,
know
sure.
and
That's
follow.
okay. That's
Yeah.
okay.
And so R. Hogan says, "Hey guys, here from Chicago in the US." And Ellie says, "Great insight, Yaw Sam. Great presentation, Sam." So we have quite a few people here. And let's see. Nice conversation. Now I'm going to scroll back because there was somebody who had a comment before we even started.
Sure.
Let me see. Here it is. So this question comes up a lot. Is it really worth to buy land in Ghana when as a diaspora, you can only get 50 years lease? So that's a comment there that somebody has regarding the lease. What is the difference?
Well, yeah.
I hear about 50 years and I hear about 99 years and I hear about freehold. Please explain the difference for people to understand.
So I would start from like what we call the allodial title. So the
What
allodial
title?
title is very allodial title.
Uh-huh.
Allodial title is like the freehold. So actually the freehold is only given to the family heads, the skins, and the stools who own the land. You get that? And so in Ghana, the constitution doesn't allow anybody to have a freehold. No individual can have a freehold on any piece of land. It's not allowed in Ghana.
So
Okay, so the best,
there's only certain families that actually have freehold.
yeah, the family heads. So Ivy. So if you have a family and your family has land, that land is for your family for forever. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It's your family land, yeah. It's so you have the head title, you have the allodia, but when you come to Kumasi, the chiefs also have the allodia title. Or 2-4 has the freehold. Nobody has the freehold. You get it. And
Well,
so
somebody out there now, because there's a lot. I've seen some real estate developers or land sellers who promote themselves as saying that they're giving people freehold. Does that mean those people are deceiving their clients?
yeah, they are, because you can't have freehold. You can't have freehold in Ghana. Nobody can have. Even the real estate people who are selling those lands or those houses, the title is not a freehold. The title is not a freehold title. It has a limit. Actually, so to answer Kojo's question, Kojo Mensah's question, yes, it's worthy to buy. I mean, if you're a Ghanaian, the constitution allows you to have at least 99 years
99?
for your land, 99. And if you're a foreigner, if you do not have a Ghanaian, if you're not a Ghanaian, you can have a maximum of 50 years. But it doesn't mean you're going to lose the land at the end of the 50 years. You can always like renew. There's a law that it stipulates that we should always give the holder of the lease right to refuse, or the right of first refusal. Basically, what it means is that if I hold a piece of land for 99 years and it expires and I want to renew, you should give me the necessary kind of support to be able to renew it. Unless I say I don't want to renew it, so I'm okay, you could take your land back. But if I want to continue staying on the land, or I want to continue having like enjoying the land, then you give me the right of first refusal to be able to renew. But I mean, in terms of business, okay, come on, like 50 years is a long time. You could do a lot of business and recoup whatever investment you have on the land. So I think that's the reason why they set it to that term for foreigners or for people in the diaspora. So if you're not a Ghanaian, the maximum you can get is 50 years for any piece of land you buy.
So what happens? Let's say somebody acquires the land to lease it for, let's say, 50 years. And are they able to put in their will that if they die, it passes on to someone else to continue with the lease?
Sure, why not? It's your will. So if you have, if you have land in Ghana and you are not Ghanaian, and maybe you stayed on the land for just 20 years, and whoever inherits you, or you say, okay, I want to pass on this land to my daughter, your daughter takes over and enjoys the remaining 30 years, right? So it's pretty much simple. We
So
would
that
say
person is
because your
that
daughter is,
person, but that person who gets to live on there for the next 30 years, do they get to renew it, or no, because the prior person had passed on? Do you know?
no, they become the new owner, so they still enjoy that right of first refusal. They
Okay.
get to renew it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me see what we have in the comments here. What people are saying, because I know that there's comments coming here. Now, someone says with his connection, okay, we saw that. I saw this.
Let me just, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I'm just trying to reposition myself. The internet is good. I have like full signal strength. I don't know.
Yeah, the video,
I
your
don't know.
video is good. I don't know. It could, maybe it's your headset. I don't know, but it's fine. I'll keep repeating things as we go along. If I don't hear you and I think that people want to, hear, I will repeat the questions. And then anybody in the comments, if you can't hear him, please do put it in the comment section, and we can go from there. All right. Why should I invest in land or landed properties? That's from Joseph Frimpong.
Okay, Joseph, thank you for that question. Well, I believe land or landed property is kind of like very secure, like it's real estate, and we all know like what real estate is. It's tangible assets. I mean, if I take my money and I put it in a bank, okay, all I see are some like figures in my bank account. I actually don't see the physical money. But if you have like a piece of real estate sitting somewhere, this is something like a tangible asset that you can touch and you can feel, okay? And we all know how like land appreciates. We know you saw Manhattan in the 50s and in the 60s. So if I bought like 1 acre of land in Manhattan in the 50s or 60s, and maybe I didn't leave till now, and I transfer that asset, or I give it to my son in a will, my son will be a millionaire, if not a billionaire now. That's how land is. So I always say the best place to invest is in land or landed property. It's when you have something tangible, because I mean, if you're even going to take a mortgage, right, or you're going to get like maybe a loan from the bank or something, they ask you if you have like collateral. And usually the collateral they are asking is like, either the collateral they're asking you is like, do you have a house? Do you have something that's like tangible they can lay claim to in case you default on payment? So investing in land or landed property is the best or the surest way to go.
Great. So I'm just going to read a couple of comments here. One says the Accra or the Asafache, did I say that right? Chiefs, family heads, who are the right owners. So that's good, a good input into the conversation.
Yeah, that's a good question, Kofi.
Yeah, that's a good one. So we have some people here who are making comments regarding something that is not the conversation that I was looking to have today, but people are commenting about land that's in a central region.
No, we can add that, Ivy. That's okay. You can add that. That's okay.
You know about, say, last year as diasporans, I and 25 members trusted the system, traveled to Ghana and purchased plots from the Asebu chief. Short story, he sold us land that he had no rights to sell. Now, right now, there's some issues happening where there's some people contesting his right to be giving this land away. I don't know all the details on it, so I can't really comment on it. I do know that they had a big meeting about 2 weeks ago because they're saying that the people contesting it, are wrong, but I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened in the meeting. If you have some information, you can shed light on that.
Ivy, yeah, sure. Ivy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Clearly?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to start from the Accra question, and then I'll come to this one.
All right.
And so I don't know a lot about like the specific areas in Accra and who owns what. But like I said, most areas in Ghana have chiefs, and even the chief, I can be a chief, but I could have a family head. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I'm powerful, and my family head is also powerful. You get it?
Yes.
So usually we have like, if you want to know the real owners of who can give out the land, you need to know in that traditional system who has more power, the chief or the family head. Because you could have like the chief comes from the family, and the family head is the head of the family. So the family head usually will tell the chief that, look, I made you chief, so you can't tell me what to do. You get the point? That's where we have like the conflicts, because the chief also feels like, oh, I'm the chief, so I'm powerful, so I should do what I'm supposed to do. You get the point? Okay. So these are where we have like the kind of like the conflict. Now, I don't really know anything about the Cebu situation, but I just want to say what I think might have happened. So first of all, these are some of the possibilities. First of all, maybe that area belongs to maybe someone or another chief. So there's a conflict. That's what we call chieftaincy dispute. The chief from the next town says, no, you don't have the right to sell this portion of the land because it falls within our boundaries. So then we are talking about boundary disputes. And this person says, no, I have the right because I think it's in my boundary. We don't have like all the boundaries of all the family lands and all the stool lands and all the skin lands properly delineated. It's not done. We don't have that in Ghana. I wouldn't lie to you. So usually you have a lot of like these conflicts coming up. And then with that same situation, the people that are going to buy the land, well, I wouldn't blame them because they don't have like a lot of experience. But they could have had like maybe a lawyer or a surveyor kind of like help them do a search at the Lands Commission at Cape Coast or the Central Region, just to find out who actually has the right to delineate or give out that land. Because usually the Lands Commission has those kind of records. They are like mandated by the government to take care of like all land issues. So if you do a search, we call it like something like a private search. You could just write a letter to them and to find out you want to buy land in this area, where that's stable chief, and you want to find out if he's the rightful person to give out the land. If he is, then you can go ahead and do your transaction. But if you find out that he isn't, then you are well informed. So you go ahead at your own risk. You get it? So these are some of the issues we have. Yeah. It's pretty much like we have a lot of like conflict with land in Ghana. These are some of the issues that come up, like boundary issues, family issues, someone in the family feels they should have the right to sell the land and not someone else. So basically, it has everything to do with like the traditional setting. The land itself is there. The land itself is nice. The land itself would do a lot of good, but the politics surrounding the land is what usually is the problem.
This is definitely something that I have said to people before, and even in my book that I wrote about moving to Ghana, that people should check with the Lands Commission. No matter who it is that's selling, you should always check with the Lands Commission to make sure who actually
Yeah,
has the authority over the land, because they would have that information. You know, each region has its regional office for lands
yeah,
commission, and they can
yeah,
tell
that's
you,
true.
yeah, and they can tell you if that person has the right to be able to get you that land. So thank you for confirming that information. I want to go back to the comments and see what anyone else is saying here. We have another person here who says, Ronald says, is land in some regions more expensive? From what I know, it's usually less than Accra. Accra is the most expensive from what I know, but from your expertise, can you share?
Okay, so basically, like you said, and I started earlier, I told you that Accra has the most vibrant land market in Ghana. So definitely lands in Accra are going to be like more expensive than lands anywhere else in Ghana. Accra, but of course we have like certain like lands that are like might not be in Accra, but are still going to be very expensive. For instance, if you want like maybe a lakefront land, you should expect that that is going to be like very expensive. You understand? And then if you want maybe something like a beachfront property that might not even be in Accra, in another region, you should see that that will also be expensive. Then we have what we call the prime areas. So for instance, every region has a prime area. So if you come to Kumasi and you want to land in the prime areas, like within the CBD, then you know you're going to like pay very high like prices for those lands. Yeah. So basically, Accra has the most expensive land, but lands elsewhere can also be as expensive. Depends on exactly what you want. And but generally, apart from Accra, lands in other regions are cheaper, like Ivy you said. So you are right. Basically, that's it. Yeah.
Someone's called you Otumfuo Surveyor.
Yeah, because yeah, usually so yeah, that title is because I work at the palace, and you
Yes.
know that's Asia Palace. So a lot of people call me looking for surveyor.
Great insight, Big Sam, watching you from Canada. Thanks for joining, Manny and Kafui. And then we have Dia52 says, I had not considered Kumasi before today. I will be sure to spend some time on the next visit. That's good to know. It is true. That's what I was saying. A lot of people that I've come into contact with haven't talked about Kumasi. So it's good that people are considering it after this conversation. Then Disian says, what are the rules for tribal lands? You may have addressed
Okay,
this,
so
but do
that's
remember that some people are joining the live at different times, so they may have missed. So if you could go through
no,
this.
that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. Okay. So like I said, so it doesn't matter which part of Ghana you are in. Once you identify the land and you know who has the authority to give it up, then you know who you should go to. You should go to that person or that authority. Usually, that person has like a palace or something, and you go see them and tell them like you want a piece of the land, and they are going to give you a price. So usually in Ghana, we didn't usually sell land. We always said land was like for the community. Land is communally owned. Land is not for one person. In Ghana, that's what we believe. So in the olden days, we used to call what we call drink money. And so we just paid a token, something like peppercorn, or something very small for land. And you could get as much land as you wanted. I mean, even in this day, there are some like how we call it, like some hinterlands or parts of Ghana where you go and you don't really pay a lot of money for land. If you want land to farm, you just go and see a chief or who the tribal head is, and he's going to give you some. But as because of the incidence of like rural urban migration and the commercialization of land, we've had to like contend with like demand and supply forces. So then you come and tell you, oh, yeah, I'm the chief in Kumasi, I'm the chief. So if you want land, you have to come and see me. And you come and I tell you, maybe it's this much, it's that much, it's that much, and you pay money, and then I give you something we call the allocation note. In Kumasi, it's called the allocation note. It's more like a receipt that shows that you bought land and which land you have. Maybe you got lot number 1 or lot number 2. So basically, that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Somebody here says 50 years renewal. This is Fred. Is in the city of Accra and not the countryside. Is this true?
Everywhere in Ghana, even if it's in Paga or the last tip of Ghana, once you're a foreigner, you have 50 years and you can renew anywhere in Ghana. The constitution in Ghana is one. We don't have like different constitutions for different parts of Ghana. No, we just have one constitution, and it says that for foreigners, you have 50 years, and once your 50 years are up, you can always renew. If you still need the land for whatever purpose you need it for, you can always renew.
Okay. This person, Patricia Edwards, says if you choose not to renew after the 50-year period and you have infrastructure on it, do you have the right to your infrastructure? I guess that would mean if you built something on it or something, does that mean you have the right to it?
I mean, we don't have, in Ghana, we don't have like house papers, right? We have land papers. Once you have a house and ask you where are your house papers, you're going to bring me your land documents, right? So if you forfeit the house, basically you have, how are you going to get the infrastructure out? You're asking this question in such a way that you want to sell the infrastructure to whoever it is, right? Who takes over the land. So that's more of like a business kind of transaction. So if you feel like you don't really need the land under 50 years, but you have assets, actually that's what it means, like you have assets. Either you liquidate your assets or you sell the land together with the assets and then you move out. So basically that's, but if you wait till the 50 years and it's expired and you are like, oh, I don't want the land. Okay, so I'm leaving, but I want you to pay for my. More often than not, the chiefs and the tribal heads don't pay you for the land, the infrastructure or the assets you have, but you can liquidate your assets. Yeah, I mean, if I have a building on a piece of land for 50 years, and I've lived in Ghana for 20 years or 30 years, and I feel like I don't want to live in Ghana no more, so I just want to move out, I'm going to sell the house. Obviously, it's like a business decision. I'll sell the house and then move away. Okay. I'll just throw the paper away and allow the land to expire, and then the house deteriorates. So it goes together. The assets on the land is actually the land papers that covers your assets and protects you. Okay. So you have like a boundary, right, on your land papers. Okay. And whatever you built, you're going to build it within that boundary, and the law protects you within the boundary. So for instance, if I'm going to charge you for trespassing, you should have trespassed within my boundary. And basically, that's it.
Okay. So we have people who are continually joining this live stream. I just want to do a quick intro again of who I'm speaking with, so that people who are joining this live stream, they know who we're talking to and what we're talking about. Today, I am talking to Kingsley Sam, who's known as Big Sam. He is a specialist. He's an expert in land in Ghana. He is the managing partner of Land and Homes Consult. And he's been in this industry for over 8 years, nearly 10 years. He's been in this industry, and he primarily works with land and property in the Ashanti region. However, he does have expertise and knowledge throughout Ghana with respect to how the system is when it comes to buying land in Ghana, leasing land, and the systems that are in place, and what you can expect if you are looking to get yourself some land in Ghana. I'll quickly show this on the screen here. As I mentioned earlier, he does work with the Ashanti region. He does land surveyor for the king of the Ashanti region. Kumasi is the second biggest city in Ghana, and a great place to potentially invest in. However, there are other areas that people do look at for opportunities and possibilities for investing. Somebody asked a question. Aphrodisiac Villas and Spa asked, what's your opinion on the future of Takoradi and if someone decided to invest in it?
Well, yeah, Takoradi. If you want to invest, in Takoradi, that's the oil city and the twin city of Ghana.
The
Takoradi is
oil
the only
city.
place. Yeah, Takoradi is the only place in Ghana that has two capitals, Secondary Takoradi. So it's
Yes,
called the twin
Sekondi
city.
and Takoradi. Takoradi Sekondi, yes.
Yeah, it's true. So it's a nice place. I told you, I was born in Takoradi, and I always live with my grandma in Takoradi, and every vacation I used to be in Takoradi, so I speak Fanti very well, and I know Takoradi very well. It's a great place, and because of the investment in the oil fields and the exploration and the drilling of oil, it's shot up the economic prospects of the whole region. And so, if you ask me, I would say you should invest in Takoradi because we are also seeking to do looking out to do a lot of investments in Takoradi. So Takoradi has huge potential. Trust me, it has huge potential. So it has a lot of extractive industries. Takoradi has timber, cocoa, gold, bauxite, diamond, just name it. That place has a lot of things, and it's really a good place to invest. I wouldn't ask you to look anywhere else. If you already have your eyes set on Takoradi, it has huge potential. It has a port, it has a seaport that's operational. So it makes the place very good to invest in. Trust me. Yeah.
Good answer to the question. I'm glad you were able to answer that for Aphrodisiac Villas and Spa. Let's see, where else do we have? If you lose the land, you lose what is on the land. You had mentioned, we had talked about that earlier. You always cross-check with Land Commission. Yep, definitely cross-check with them. Let's do the next comment from Papa Agidi. Sometimes you'll do Search and Lands Commission, but because they are so corrupt, they want to pay them money under the table. If not, good luck after that. What are your thoughts on that? I hear people talking about corruption of some of the people. How do you get around that?
Corruption is something we are still fighting in Africa, in most African countries. It's a general canker. It's not just with maybe one particular institution or not. And that's why I told you we needed to introduce a lot of technology, especially the blockchain technology, to take away some of these things. I would say, I won't sit here and bash the Lands Commission because they've done a lot of good work over the years. They've improved. They've kind of digitized a lot of records. They've put in a lot of measures. We've created core stations all over Ghana for surveying. We've created a digital system. Now they have a system that you log in your submissions or your request, and the system kind of tracks and gives you update. But anyway, you have human beings in the system, you have some of these things to contend with. I remember when President Barack Obama visited Ghana a few years back, one of the things he kept talking about was strengthening our institutions in Africa, in Ghana. If the institutions work, then you take away some of the corrupt acts and issues about corruption. I mean, it's there, but we are working very hard towards it because if you ask me, Ivy, if you ask me, you've interacted with me for a few weeks, a few months, and you know me. If you ask me, I would rather have a good name than for someone to say I'm corrupt. And so, as a younger generation, we are trying very hard. I told you that we have conferences with the young surveyors all over Africa, and these are some of the issues we discuss when we meet, whether we meet in Botswana or in Senegal or in Dakar, or in Rwanda, Cote d'Ivoire, wherever we meet as young surveyors. These are some of the things we talk about, and you see a lot of the young ones doing a lot of things. If you watch African Voices on CNN, you see a lot of like young people doing a lot of stuff like from all over Africa, things that are like breaking through and going global, you know. And so it's going to get better. It's going to get better because, like I said initially, uh, I, I I spend part of my time in Canada and part in Ghana, and I know how both systems work. If I need something in Canada, it's so easy. I just go to the government office. I just go to maybe Service Canada, and then I say I need this thing, and then I just fill a form. I sign. If there's a fee, if it's $15, I pay $15, and I get a receipt for $15. But in Ghana, it's not the same. You could go to a place and they tell you, oh, it's 200 cedis. You pay 200 cedis and they don't even want to give you a receipt. And if you insist on getting a receipt, they write you a receipt for maybe 150 cedis. And if you insist, they are like, well, if you don't want the service, you can go away, or you can just take your money and go away. I mean, these are like general issues that we are contending with. So you wouldn't take lands commission as an exception to the rule. But however, I know the big guys at Lands Commission. I've worked with some of them, and I know they're doing a lot of work. They are putting a lot of effort to make sure like some of these things are taken out. You know, so by and by we'll get it. It's difficult, but we'll get it.
I see in the comments here somebody was talking about the cost of land near the airport. So they're talking about Accra and wondering why it's more expensive. I saw the comment here, and now I can't seem to find it again. But someone was asking about land by the airport, why it's so expensive, because other places in the world, the land is less expensive. And I can't find the comment. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Why is land close to the airport so expensive? Most people don't want to live close to the airport. Why do people in Ghana like land
Yeah,
close to the airport?
I noticed. When I flew into JFK just like about 2 months ago, I noticed. I was like, I've been to New York before, but like this year when I went to New York, I was like, why is Queens so close to the airport and Manhattan so far away from the airport? Then I was like, oh, nobody wants to live by the airport because there's noise, there's pollution, there's air pollution, and just name it. But in Africa, it's the reverse. So yeah, in Ghana, it's the reverse. So the areas around the airport, you have like Airport City, you have East Legon, you have the Trasaco, Osun, Cantonment. These are like the prime areas, very close to the airport. And so you see the real estate guys, they tell you, oh, it's a 5 minutes drive from the airport. It's a 2 minutes drive from the airport.
Yes.
So in Ghana, I don't know, but that's how it is. Like people want to live by, people like feel like that's the prestigious, that's the prime part of Accra. So if you want land in Accra and you want it close to the airport, you have to make sure that you are paying some huge money for that.
It is.
In Ghana, I don't know why.
Yeah. And Fred Kofi Odum says it here: lands in airport area, cantonments, airport hills, Laboni cost as much as 2.5 million just for a plot. You know, and it's true.
It's true. It's very true. I mean, 2.5 million. Maybe that's Ghana city. So, yeah, it's crazy. Land prices. Sometimes people are like, "Hey, this is more expensive than land in maybe Brooklyn or Manhattan or something." I'm like, I don't know. You know, we have like kind of like an open and sort of, I would say, unregulated land system in Ghana. In terms
unregulated?
Yeah, I would say a kind of. That's why I say a kind of. Because like the government doesn't regulate the prices for land sales. No.
Okay, they don't regulate the prices for land sales.
No. If I have a piece of land and you want it, and I know it's worth maybe $2,000, I could ask you for $15,000. If you are willing to pay me the $15,000, I would take it and then give you the land, and it's not a crime. It's not a crime. Even though I know the value is $2,000. Once you are willing, so in Ghana, we say once there's a willing buyer and a willing seller, then it takes two to tango. So you have people who want to tango, so they can tango.
Wow.
That's how it is.
Wow. And talking about two to tango, somebody said, how much land will the chief give you if you marry his daughter?
Let me tell you the truth. About lands in Ghana now. chiefs aren't giving land out anymore in Ghana for free. Maybe probably in the olden days it used to be the case, but now land in Ghana is very highly commercialized. Even in the countryside or in the hinterlands, where you think you should have land for cheap, no, they're not going to give you the land for cheap. They're going to make you pay something substantial for it. Yeah, to be honest with you. So land people are realizing that land can be commercialized. So
Yeah.
with that, a lot of people are like kind of like putting measures in place and trying to squeeze as much money as possible from a transaction. Yeah. So that's how the land market now is. So that's
Okay.
about that.
Okay. Ronald says, from a cultural perspective, are there any concerns about selling land to people outside of Ghana? I think, oh, he said, I think you may have answered him already, but that was his question.
So from a cultural perspective, actually they are not selling the land. That's why there's a leasehold on it. Okay. So once your lease is expired, it comes back to the community or the landowning group. So if it's the family or the clan or the chiefs or the skin or the tindana, the spiritual head, whoever is that owning community, the land comes back to them. We have that kind of idea that the land is only given to you for you to use for your purpose for a period, and then it comes back. And I don't have a problem with the lease. If you ask me my personal opinion, I don't think there's any problem with the leasehold system in Ghana. And I don't think there's any problem with the freehold system in North America. Because Ivy, let's look at this situation. If I give you a freehold in North America, that's the US or Canada, where they practice a lot of freehold. How long are you going to live to enjoy that freehold? The law says you can have the land for 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years. That's the meaning of freehold, right? And if I give you the land as freehold, what is your lifespan as a human being in the first place?
I think that it's not necessarily about someone's lifespan, but people like to talk about generational wealth and passing things down generation to generation. Because here in Canada, because currently I'm in Canada at the moment, for those who don't know, I've traveled to Canada. I'll be back in Ghana soon. But in Canada or in the US, when someone has a freehold, they know, like I know people who are like their great-great-grandparents had a house and they passed it down and passed it down and passed it down. And so I think that's where the concern of the diaspora is when it comes to acquiring property and land. They want to make sure they can pass it down to future generations and it's not going to just end at them. I think that's why people ask those questions.
Sure. So that's why in the leasehold system in Ghana, we create a provision for that. So you can pass it on, renew it and pass it on, renew it and pass it on. And then I'm like, so the analogy I was making, if you understood it very well, I know that there's still generational wealth. You can still pass the wealth, but like there are times when someone in the generation even feels like they should sell off the land. Yeah, because actually, if you own freehold and you pass it off to your daughter, and she feels like she doesn't need the land and she wants to sell it, she'll sell it anyway.
That's true.
You understand?
That is true. That is true. You have no control over that happening.
You have no control. So yeah, exactly. So basically so I think both systems, it's okay. If wherever you practice both systems, from my perspective as a land expert, if you think freehold is good for your country and you want to practice it, fine. In Ghana, from the way our cultural setup is made, I think the leasehold is the best for us now. So kind of to manage things, it helps us that way.
Okay. So here's a question. I have bought a house and land and they give me an indenture. How do I secure the terms of the land renewal so that at the end of the lease, they don't drive me a crazy amount to pay?
Okay, so basically the indenture is the same.
He's supposed to say, give me a crazy amount.
Yeah. So I understand him. So he wants to, usually it depends on the lawyer who is drafting the indenture or the lease agreement. But the constitution is very clear. It says that they should always it doesn't mention the price, but it always says that you have to be given the right of first refusal to be able to renew. Okay. And if you if you have a good lawyer, he can put in a few terms of renewal for you so that when it's time for renewal, renewing becomes very easy. It's a document, it's a contract between you and the person who's giving you the land. So whatever you put in, both parties have to agree to it, and you're good to go.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then somebody in Tanzania, Akumra Amenra, is asking, what are the average costs of land in the Volta region? Asking from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Do you know the answer to this question?
I wouldn't know, but I like Dar es Salaam because one of our projects is named Dar es Salaam,
Yes,
right?
we'll talk about that shortly. Yes.
Yeah, so I like this. I actually don't know the average cost of land in the Volta region. Well, but I could. I recently asked this year. I asked for land around Sokode. Sokode is like on your way to Ho. It's a few minutes drive from Ho, and it was going for a plot. Like if you take something like maybe 100 feet by 100 feet, that's 30 meters by 30 meters.
Okay.
Averaging, it was going for 10,000 cities. So
Okay.
there you go. That doesn't generalize for the whole Volta region, though. I'm just telling you for one specific time I asked on your way to the capital of Volta. That's Ho. Ho is the capital. So on your way to Ho, and I went to school in the Volta region. I went to secondary school in the Volta region, so I know the Volta region, and I come from the Volta region, so I know the region very well. So basically, that's how it is.
Mm-hmm. Question: is estate housing titled under lands or SHC? What is SHC? Looking to buy one from a previous owner.
I think he's talking about State Housing Corporation.
Okay.
So he's asking, I think the estate house is like, he wants to buy an estate house and he doesn't want, like, he wants to know where to go. So you go to the State Housing Corporation, which is SHC, to do your transaction. They are both government institutions, and that basically the State Housing Corporation is like a real estate company, but for the government. And whatever title lands they have would have to be registered at the Lands Commission. They can't say because like they have their own like development team. They are basically State Housing Corporations basically develop real estate. Like they build houses. That's their mandate. They are there to build houses. They are not there to talk about land or solve land disputes. Even the State Housing Corporation themselves, they have land issues. But if it's a house that's built, then and you want to buy it, of course, you go to the State House. You don't go to Lands Commission.
Okay.
Because if there's a house there and you want to buy it, it belongs to State Housing. So you need to go to State Housing and buy the land from them. And then they'll do the paperwork. I mean, if you're asking about paperwork, then State Housing will do the paperwork. It comes with a package, It's like, so if you're buying a house, obviously they should do the paperwork for you.
Okay.
So they'll do the paperwork for you. Yeah, you don't have to go to Lands Commission yourself.
Okay. So I want people to know that if you wanted to get more information, you can always visit his website, which is landandhomesconsult.com. It's on the screen to get in touch. If you want to get in touch with Big Sam to talk about his land projects and development projects, that if you want to invest, they are in the Ashanti region. They also have the Diaspora Dream Project, which I want to ask him about. And then just a reminder, if you got a question, do share in the comments. You can reach out to him by email at info@landandhomeconsult.com. If you are in Ghana and you want to make a call, or even if you're abroad and you want to make a call, you can reach him on this number, 233-24-598-0572 to get in touch with him. So there's the Diaspora Dream Project, and then there is the Dar es Salaam.
Yeah.
The Dar es Salaam project. Is that the same?
Yeah, the Dar es Salaam project. Yeah.
Is it the same as the Diaspora Dream Project? Is that the same?
It was part. Dar es Salaam was the Diaspora Dream Project. It was an example of a project we did for diaspora. So we had like some people from the diaspora, specifically from the US and UK, buying some plots at the Dar es Salaam.
Okay. So talk about that, the diaspora dream homes that you are working on. Is it finished or is there still more available for people?
The current one we have a few plots. We did a lot that has like 100 plots, and they are all taken up. It's just level like 10
Have this one
plots.
here?
Yeah, exactly. That's the map.
Okay.
So it's all bought. We just have only 10 plots left,
10
but we are going to start. We have just 10 plots left, but we are starting a new project. It's bigger and it's better. We are doing like 1,000 plots. And so with our projects, what we do is that we had like I had a lot of requests from people in the diaspora who want to buy land, and usually they go through their family members and friends and stuff like that. And it usually doesn't end well. And people don't stay for long when they come. Like people just visit Ghana for a week or two. They want to buy land and they don't have enough time to follow up the paperwork and stuff like that. So what I set out to do was to kind of like create an avenue for people who want to acquire land. So what we do is that we negotiate with the chiefs, and then we take the land. So we are like an escrow. We take the land. There are a lot of people don't want to. So you see the problems we are talking about. A lot of people don't want to deal with the chiefs and the family heads and whatever we have. And so we become like an escrow for you. So we negotiate with the chief and we take the land and we put in some services. Usually, most of the land in Ghana is like farmland that we have to convert to residential land. And so you have issues with farmers fighting with developers. Because if I got my cassava there and you bought the land, yeah, you bought the land from the chief, all right, but the cassava is mine. So I'm going to allow you to destroy my cassava. And it becomes a conflict because I'm like, but I bought the land, so whatever is on the land belongs to me. What do you mean by the cassava is yours? It's mine. But in Ghana, we say that even when you buy land and there's cassava, you need to compensate the farmer for the cassava because he's going to lose his cassava anyways. So what we do is that when we get the land, we do what we call a farm survey to know the number of farms or the various type of farms we have on the land. And then we pay all the farmers, we pay them off, we clear the land, and then we put in like some services, like a road network, not a tarred road network. Tarring a road in Ghana is very expensive. Like at least we put something that's more trouble, and then we put in a little service like maybe access to electricity and stuff like that. And then the nicest part of what we do, the nicest part is that we help you get your registered land documents with the government, with the Lands Commission, because basically that's what secures your investment. Anytime you buy land in Ghana, you make sure you have your document that is registered with the Lands Commission, because it gives finality to your transaction and it protects you in case there's an issue with your land. You could always call on that document and it's respected in the law of court in Ghana. And once you have the lease and you didn't obtain it fraudulently and there are no issues with it, you don't have a problem. So that's what we do for people. I kind of like got this idea traveling around and listening to people and working at the Land Secretariat I mentioned. It was like one of the major issues people had, especially people in the diaspora, like their land documents, getting to buy land, like they don't have anybody. So we become like an escrow between two people who want to transact, the chiefs and the people who want the land. So we put in like the services, and then we make sure the people also pay the right amount of money to the chief. So at the end of the day, like both parties are satisfied. Because if I ask you to deal with a chief, it's so difficult. Even with us, even though we have like experience dealing with them and like we've been working with them for a long time, it's still difficult for us because no matter who you are, he's still a chief. And when you want to talk to a chief in Ghana, you know our culture, Ivy, it's like you need to kind of like accord a lot of respect. And you just, even when you want to talk to a chief, you need to book an appointment. Yeah, you just don't walk to a palace and say that you want to buy land, so you are going to see a chief. You don't do that. You need someone, a member of the community, to take you and all that. So it's I understand. Like if you want to acquire land, it's not like from a real estate company, and you want to do it directly with a chief or a family head. It's quite difficult, especially if you are a foreigner or you've not lived in Ghana for long, or you don't know the system in Ghana. It's quite difficult. Trust me.
Yeah, land disputes are one of the top things in the court system in Ghana.
Yeah.
So that should tell people it's not just the diaspora who are facing challenges when it comes to land. Because one of the things that I do often get is people who think it's only the diaspora who have challenges. Like this one here was a question that I received on YouTube earlier today. Can diaspora buy land instead of leasing land as part of the diaspora? Can the diaspora buy land if we receive citizenship? And can the diaspora have land purchase contracts that allows one to buy leased land once citizenship is obtained? Now, you've covered this already. It doesn't matter if you are a citizen or you're in the diaspora. The majority of people lease land in Ghana. The majority of people don't own land. It is family heads family heads or chiefs who actually own land, freehold. Everyone else is leasing the land.
Yeah.
So there's not a different rule for the diaspora than there is for Ghanaians themselves.
The citizens.
Yeah. So it's definitely something that I'm glad that.
You know what? Sorry for cutting. You know, I have a lot of my friends and family and stuff. Like they call me and they ask me, and I'm not going to do a lease, because if I do the lease, it limits me to 99 years. I'm like, you're going to die anyway, because even if you don't do the lease, you're going to die. And what happens when you die? So just do the lease anyway, because you're not going to outlive the 99 years anyway. Because you are acquiring land at what age? 40 years, 30 years, 35 years. You're not going to outlive the lease that's giving you 99 years. Even Ghanaians like have issues with like the limit and the term of the lease and all that. But I told them, look, it's still an investment. You could invest. So the whole idea is not like kind of like living on the land till it's 99 years. It's an investment. You have the land, you invest in it. You could build a hotel. You could build a resort, a community park. Whatever you want to do on the land, you can do and enjoy the fruits of your labor or the returns on your investment over that period. And like I said earlier, you could always renew. You could always renew. If you feel you've not had enough time to recoup your investment, you could always renew. You always don't have to wait for the term to expire. In Ghana, even if you have like 15 years left on your lease, you could still renew. We call it surrender and renewal. You could surrender your 15 years and get a fresh 50 years anytime you want. So it's easy. It's a simple system.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We still have this one says, I hope your chiefs don't sell to the Chinese, because you never go to their country and buy land. Then BW Sampson says, Ivy, your sound is fantastic. However, something's wrong with Big Sam's system. Clarity is awful. Sounds like he's mumbling. His voice is coming in and out. So I hope it gets better.
No, Ivy, hold on. Let me use I'm using an iPad, so let me just use just going to ditch the AirPods and see if it's better.
Okay.
Yeah, Ivy, can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I want to make sure that everybody can hear. If you can't hear, please drop it in the comments. Let us know if his sound is okay.
Yeah, so I'm now using the microphone from the iPad, so I'm hoping it's better.
I hope so.
The video is good, so I don't think it has to do. Yeah. Does it sound good, Ivy?
I hope it's good for me. If it's not bad, anybody else, please do drop it in the comments. If you are not hearing him, please do drop it in the comments. As I mentioned earlier, I'm talking to Big Sam. This is his website, landandhomesconsult.com. if you want to reach out for more information or check out his website and see some of the projects that he's worked on, diasporadreamproject.com. You can email info@landandhomeconsult.com, and you can also call at this number in Ghana. So let's see what new comments we have. Someone else said that the sound was fine. Someone said it's much better now. So, okay. All right. So let's continue. Let us continue. So you had mentioned a new project that you're working on. This current one, the Dar es Salaam, you said there's 10 plots left. I wanted to ask you how much are the plots?
So the Dar es Salaam 10 plots that we have left, each of them is going for 55,000 cedis.
55,000 Ghana cities.
Yeah. Per
Okay.
plot. And
what's the size of the plot?
We have a size of about 90 by 80 feet.
90 by 80 feet.
Yeah. And I don't know if you want to convert that into dollars. Ivy, what's the rate now? It's like
I don't know. The last time I checked, it was 7.9.
Wow, that's almost 8.
Yeah.
So that's about $6,875. Yeah, for a it comes with your registered lease. Like, we do everything for you. You just sit at home and you sleep, and we give you a call and we tell you that your lease is ready. You have to sign, and then we just get it registered at the government agency, Lands Commission, for you, and then that's it. Easy peasy. It makes your work easy. You don't have to go see any chief. You don't have to go anywhere. And all you have to do is like get your other paperwork. Like, if you want to build, you need a building permit, you know. So you just get a building permit and then you start building.
And that's this.
Simple.
That's this demarcate part of this project here.
Yeah.
There's 100.
That's where we did the project. Yeah.
Okay. And is that's the Diaspora Dream Project? This one?
Yeah, it's one of the projects. So these are like, okay. So Ivy, the picture you have right there.
Yeah.
It's another set of projects we are about to undertake.
Okay.
And so if anybody wants to invest, they can come on board. We have the land. So what we want to do is to like build like actual affordable homes. You know, when people say affordable homes and you ask of the price, they are not really affordable, especially to Ghanaians. So that model you saw there is a 3-bedroom house, and we want to build it under 300,000 cedis. And that's if I use your 8 cedis, that's 300,000 divided by 8. We are looking at about $37,000. Ivy, is that affordable?
That would be, people pay that for cars.
Good. So that's
people buy cars at that price.
Yeah. So basically, that's what we are. I think so. For you to be able to really produce affordable housing, you need to control like the factors of production. Like, basically, we use a lot of Portland cement to build in Ghana. You need to control that. You need to control like where you get your granite and your aggregate, your coarse sand aggregate, and stuff like that. And then when you get to the finishing part, like where you get like your materials to finish, like your tiles and your lighting and your switches and your stuff, if you are not able to control that, you can't really give people affordable homes. Basically, that's what it is. Yeah. You just have to control the production.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you use any solar power in any of your projects? Because I noticed that there's more people leaning in that direction because of known challenges with ECG, and then the fact that there's endless sun in Ghana, that solar should be an option for powering homes.
Ivy, I didn't want to talk about like this, but you forced it out of me. So I've been doing a lot of research. We have like Solar City in one of Elon Musk's companies, Solar City. I've been studying their model, and I think they are doing something very good. We need that technology more in Africa than in America, because we have sun like 24/7.
Yeah,
always sun in Africa. So we need that technology, and they brought like this new technology where like the roof itself is like made up of solar panels. So like you have a roof over your house, and it's like a solar panel, and it's like kind of like feeds into like your reserve, like your battery system, and powers your house like 24/7. I mean, this is good, you know, and it's something we are going to explore. We are not at that level yet, but it's something like I've really considered like in the long term for the future of whatever it is we are doing in the real estate industry. And not just us, I think other real estate like developers should kind of like start looking in that direction. I checked out like their model, and with Solar City's model, it's, you don't even have to buy the systems. You can just lease it and pay monthly. You don't have to like pay outright because it's expensive. It costs you like something like $20,000, and if you don't have $20,000, you can't have it outright. So they install the systems for you, and then you pay like, they are like a utility company. Like you pay them like monthly bills, but of course it's cheaper than grid, you know, because solar is off grid, so it's cheaper than grid.
Okay.
And that's something we really have to look at, because if we are going like, if Africa is going to be like the next developed place, these are some of the solutions like we should implement. We should like, and so right now you understand why I do a lot of technology, right?
Yes.
Because if we are going to give Africans like affordable homes, the only thing that can make homes affordable for Africans is technology. Trust me, and nothing else. Yeah,
I agree. Somebody's asking, where's that land located again? That's in Kumasi, right?
Yeah, Kumasi.
For this project of his and the affordable housing that they're working on. Somebody is saying better land in the Upper East region. There's definitely land in the Upper East region. I was actually in the Upper East region sometime last year. A lot of space there. A lot of space there.
I mean, like a lot of things in Ghana is concentrated in the southern part of Ghana, but there's so much potential in the north. They even have more sunlight than the south.
They do. It's there's more heat there. It's so hot in the northern parts of Ghana compared to the. I mean, the south is still hot too, but there's even
but
more.
Ivy, you know, we could use the heat to cool the place, right?
Tell me how.
There's so much power. We could use the heat to cool the whole place, because like if there's so much heat, then we could have like solar power like ACs, solar power fans in public places and stuff like that. That gives the place like a cooler effect. It's all about leadership. Like in effect, like I don't want us to veer from what we are discussing. We are in the land space, but this is important. Like if it's all about like having a visionary leader who sees that as a potential, and like a lot of people see the northern part of Ghana as like so undeveloped and so like laid back, or like, but I see it as like potential. Like
potential is definitely there. Potential is definitely there. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been on the live today. We've been talking about land in Ghana, because I saw somebody just joined and was asking what was going on today. We are talking about land buying in Ghana. We've been on for about an hour and a half almost, and we will finish within the next 20 to 25 minutes. We will wrap up. So if you have any questions before we wrap up, please drop them in the comments. And I see someone here saying, we're happy to have Ivy live here with us today. Thank you for joining. Jenny P, solutions for sustainability and energy consumption is helpful. Power outages and consistent electricity continues to be a concern. Definitely a concern. Now, we've talked about this lease time quite a bit, but as I mentioned, there's people who have been joining, after we already started, or after you may have already mentioned it. After 99 years, does the land go back to the government, is what somebody's asking.
Yeah, if the land it goes back to whoever it belongs to. Whoever you got it from originally, it goes back to that person. But the Constitution guarantees like a renewal for you. So you can always renew. Like I keep saying, after 99 years, you can renew for another 99 years.
Definitely. Yeah. And so, any more questions that we have here? People popping up. Let's see. Fred, we have lands here in Shy Hills, Apollonia, Dodowa, Adukrum, Hills, Oyibi, Tutu, and Bill Valley.
Yeah, those are like in Accra. Yeah,
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 20 minutes outside of Accra.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are like good areas you mentioned. So, like a little bit like outside of main Accra. Yeah, Accra is like I said, the land market in Accra is very vibrant and it's crazy.
It is. It is. So many people are like trying to vie for the same places. So,
Exactly.
and it's getting choked. Um, have you all? I'll click the like button and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Andy.
subscribe to
Thank
the
you.
channel.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And so, one of the things that I want to mention is some people have faced challenges where they get land and then they find out that someone else also has bought that land. How do people avoid those kinds of situations?
Well, it might sound a bit like unfortunate, but in Ghana, the responsibility mainly, like I would say, 95% lies on the buyer, not on the seller.
Lies on the buyer, not the seller.
So we always have like the caveat emptor, which says the buyer should beware. Be careful what you are buying. Make sure you do a search and lands commission. You can ask the locals, the indigenous. You can ask around, do a little bit of digging, like dig around, ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if we are just not talking about like these problems we're talking about, like happens to Ghanaians, not just
Yes, it happens
people.
to Ghanaians too. Yes, it happens to Ghanaians.
Actually, it happens to
I know
Ghanaians
people.
more.
I know people. It's happened to.
Yeah, it happens to Ghanaians more than even people in the diaspora. Trust me. So
Yes.
like we are solving like these problems like daily. Like every day, someone's going to call you and say, I have a problem with my land. I have a problem with this and this and that and this and that and this and that. I mean, so it's still a young market. So there are a lot of like problems, and we are coming up like solutions. I know like the FIG is doing something fantastic. The Ghana Institute of Surveyors, the Lands Commission, like just name it. The institutions are just naming it. We are all trying to like kind of like tailor out solutions to help solve these problems that we have. But in the meantime, you just have to be very careful. If it quacks like a duck and it moves like a duck, it most definitely is a duck.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. Um, is somebody asking now, how much is the lease or 99 years?
How much is the lease?
I guess that
Or
depends on the lease is the length of time for the land,
yeah,
and the
it's
99 years,
whatever. Yeah, covers the land. Yeah,
yeah, whatever the cost is that you're already agreed to, and then it's for 99 years for Ghanaian citizens, but it's
yeah.
50 years for non-citizens, right?
Well, I think maybe at a point the government should consider. I mean, these are like policies that we can have for people who want like invest in land. Maybe at a point the government should consider like extending maybe to 70 years for foreigners or people in the diaspora or people who just want to come to Ghana, because like if there's a general concern that like 50 years is not enough, then I think the government should consider it, because we want more people coming into the diaspora. We have like Ghana has always had like a housing deficit and stuff like that. There are so many projects that can be done if we can solve like the problems of access to land and the problems of land acquisition. Then we could get like a lot of people coming in and doing a lot of projects, because I know like a lot of people want to come in and do projects. Like I have some partners out there in Canada, and they kind of like have it as part of their long-term vision to invest in affordable housing in Ghana, and they have been like doing a feasibility study for them before they make a decision. If it's positive, they are going to come over with like loads of money. They are looking at like maximum $50 million, and that's a lot of money. I mean, imagine if we have like just 10, 20 people coming in with $50 million to do projects. That's going to be beautiful, right? Yeah. So we have to look at it like government has to look at us like you remember I this is like in your domain. You guys are championing like a lot of the year of return, beyond the return, and you are championing like a lot of programs to get a lot of people to come and invest in Ghana, especially not just Ghanaians in the diaspora, but basically Africans. So I'll tell you what, I just don't work. I just don't work in Ghana. Like I virtually work in most African countries. So if you want me to go and do some work for you in Liberia, I'll fly out and go and help you and do that work in Liberia. If you want me to go to Rwanda and help you to acquire land, I'll help you to acquire the land in Rwanda. And so whilst we are trying to get more people to come into Ghana to invest, we also have to kind of like make sure our policies are like friendly.
Okay.
And so sometimes you realize that it's not really a major concern of the government. But once you hear a lot of people talking about the 50 years, then we need to look at that. What can we do for them? Can we have like something special for them? Can we amend a part of the constitution? I mean, that's what leadership is about, right? It's about making sure that you get things done. Yeah. And whatever it takes to get things done, you have to do it.
Someone asked.
Yeah, so this one goes to you. So yeah, you guys have to work on that.
This one goes to from Pasha Black, goes to you. The families that own the land, how did they come to own the land in the first place?
Sorry, Ivy. I was looking at my bookshelf. There's this book that was recently written.
Okay.
Asantehene. It's a very good book. I recommend to everyone. Probably maybe Ivy, I would have to get you like copies of the book or give you the link.
What's
and
the
then
name
later
of the
you
book?
share a guide, Ashanti lands, a guide to land acquisition in Ashanti.
Okay.
It talks about like the history of land.
Okay.
And how the Stools and the family came to own the land.
Okay.
So it's usually by conquest.
Okay.
And it's by lineage or like bloodline. So you realize that one family settled in the north and they actually like beat the indigens, or they drove them away, or they had a war, they killed them and they took over the land.
Okay.
So then they became the new owners of the place. So when you read history and you realize that like the Americans, North America was predominantly like occupied by the red-skinned Indians, and then it was taken over by the white man, and then so they've become like indigenous people. So in Canada, everything that we do in Canada, we always have to kind of like acknowledge the indigenous people. So my school, George Brown College, you realize that on the website they write that this land on which George Brown is situated belongs to this so indigenous people. I don't remember the groups though, but I see that in Vancouver, I see that in Alberta, I see that in Toronto. So that's that kind of respect. Even though you occupy the land, it belongs to the indigenous people. So it's the same thing over here.
Okay.
These families and these are the indigenous people. They like settled the place, and they've lived on. Their ancestors have lived there, and they've lived there, and they've tilled the land, and they've used it for generations. So that's how come they came to own the land, and the constitution protects them. So actually, government doesn't have land in Ghana. Trust me. Even the Jubilee House is on someone's land.
What? I didn't know this.
Yes, government. Yeah, recently the government of Ghana is giving back a lot of vested land. Right? It was in the news recently that they gave about 400 acres back to the king Otunfo in Kumasi, right? And it's happening all over Ghana.
Okay.
So usually, if government wants land for projects, they need to acquire like everyone else.
Okay.
Trust me.
Okay.
Yes.
Somebody here says, what happens if a chief grants you 99 years and you are non-Ghanaian? Is it valid? Does that mean that that's happened with you, Winston Ellis? Has somebody done that?
It's not valid. So that's why there's
valid.
the constitution. Well, you can't grant someone 99 years when you don't have the power to, right?
Right.
So it voids the whole lease or the indenture that you have. It's voided because the terms are not right.
Okay, comrades, let's support Ivy with the PayPal link. Yes, I put my PayPal link in the comments.
That's a good idea.
If anybody wants to support my channel, if you're finding this content useful, you're getting this, this is like a consultation you're getting here on getting land.
Yeah, this is a good idea, right? Yeah.
Really great consultation. So definitely you should support. So thank you. It's 4th of July weekend here. I'll be going to the fireworks later on. Enjoy the fireworks.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, and Canada Day was yesterday, 2 days ago, July 1st.
Yeah, July 1st, right?
Yes,
yeah.
July 1st. And so Canada, US, it's like their days are just a few days apart. The 1st of July and the 4th of July.
And Republic
Day in Ghana was the 1st of July. Yeah, it used to be a public holiday, but Akufo-Addo removed it from being an official public holiday. Now it's just a commemorative holiday.
Oh, tell you what, we'll bring it back.
I'm sure it'll come back. It's like every government brings in something or takes something out.
We'll bring it back.
It's it's interesting. So yeah. But this has been a really great conversation. I'm so happy that people have been really engaged. And coming in with the questions and coming in to say all of the different things that their thoughts and their experiences. It is really good to know that people are interested in this topic still, which means that people are interested in getting land or getting property in Ghana. Now, as mentioned in the beginning, if you missed the beginning, I was talking about the fact that he specializes in land in the Ashanti region. His developments are in the Ashanti region, in Kumasi in particular. It is the second biggest city in Ghana with about 3.3 million people in greater Kumasi. And it is a place that people from the diaspora that I have come in contact with haven't talked about as much as some other places, but it is a place that I actually saw in an African business magazine a couple of years ago, Kumasi being named as a city to watch. Because people who maybe don't want to be in Accra, they don't want to be in the congested area, find that the next biggest capital city is a good option because you have a little bit more space and you have access to different things there that may not be in Accra. It's just a different environment, different people. And then you also get the experience of culture. The Ashanti culture is different than being in Greater Accra. Greater Accra is the Ghana land, the Ghana people, but it is more of an eclectic city because many people who come from abroad, that's where they go to the capital city. And that's not exclusive to Ghana. Everywhere in the world you go, like US, someone will go to New York, they'll go to, LA, Canada, they'll go to Toronto, they'll go to Vancouver. People have a tendency to go to the bigger cities when they're not familiar with a place. But Kumasi also has one of the biggest markets. Is it one of the biggest markets in North Africa?
Yeah, KJTR market.
I've been to Kumasi a few times, but I've never actually ventured into the market.
Well, it's a good place to be. I mean, you just have to make sure you are not carrying any bags, and then you are good to go. You don't have any money. Not
carrying any bags. No money in my pocket. What?
Or you can carry a bag and have money in your pocket, but this is how your face should be.
It's funny. I always say when I go to the market in Accra, when I go to Medina Market or I go to Makala Market, I have a tendency I have my market outfit. It's like, don't want to look like you have money. You want to just look like average. You just go and then you just have like the slow walk, because I have a tendency to walk fast, which I think is my, Western upbringing. So it's like I got to slow down my walk, slow down my pace so that I, blend in a little bit more. Although it's hard for me to blend in because I'm 6'1", so everywhere I go, I'm like towering over people anyway. So yeah, I'll go to that market the next time I go to Kumasi to check it out.
Kumasi is a very good place. We are getting an international airport online soon.
Yes, though the airport is already there, but I've heard about the development.
Yeah, we are just upgrading it. Yeah, we are.
What are some of the upgrades I should expect?
Yeah, it's almost done. I mean, it's about 80% complete, and so it's going to be nice. And it's going to connect to I think one of the airports is Istanbul. It's going to connect to Istanbul.
Oh, really?
Flights, yeah, from Kumasi to Istanbul and then to the rest of the world. So let's see how that goes. And Kumasi has like a lot of cultural, like if you want to see real culture, you come to Kumasi. I mean, you should be at the Menchia Palace.
What do you mean real culture? Are you saying the rest is not real culture?
I think the rest copied from Kumasi. They copied from the Ashantis. Yeah. They copied from because Kumasi's, I mean, you know, Kumasi's culture, when I say real because it's unadulterated. You have like the 16th century feel. The same thing you would have had like 400 years ago. You have it now. Trust me. The same swords they use like to fight the British, they have it. They have everything they used back then. They still have it. Trust me. It's the only place you're going to get like real unadulterated culture like cultural display. Like the same drums they used 400 years ago, they use everything. Like, trust me. I mean, you should be in Kumasi the next time you're in Ghana.
You know, I'm
going to host you.
I do agree that Kumasi is one of the places that is known for really hanging on to its culture, and not allowing any kind of change to it, compared to what you see in some of the other regions. Like when you see images like this of Atumfo, you know, I mean, you see this in other parts of Ghana, but I feel like in the Ashanti region, people really hold on to it very dearly.
That was how the Otumfuo dressed hundreds of years ago. So it's the same thing. Like it's like you are watching it like live in real time for you. It's not adulterated. Same thing. Same regalia. Same necklaces. Like everything, gold. Same thing. Like yeah.
This person says Accra is losing its culture compared to Kumasi.
Yeah. Kumasi still has like this. Do you know something? If you take a typical inhabitant of Kumasi, they will listen more to their chief than listen to maybe a government official or maybe the mayor of the city. Trust me. Yeah.
Someone's asking, what's the average cost of flying within Africa? Well, there's flying within the African continent. First of all, there's 54 countries. Flying between the countries, it's one of the most expensive things flying within Africa. And it's one of the things that people in the continent complain about, that, you know, it can be cheaper for someone to fly from Accra to London than it is for someone to fly from Accra to, you know, Algeria, or fly to Soweto, or fly to, you know, Zambia or something. It can be quite expensive flying within the continent. The landing fees are expensive, and it's really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Sometimes people have to fly, like my colleague recently was talking about that she would have to fly from Accra to Nairobi, then to Rwanda. And it's like, why can't you just get a straight flight to Rwanda? And it's like, I mean, I'm not saying there are not any, but a lot of the times there are flights that you have to transit through different places, and then there's a different cost, a higher cost for you to do it. But within Ghana, like, you can fly from, a lot of people don't realize that there's domestic flights. When you get to Accra, you can fly to Kumasi, you can fly to Tamale in the northern region, you can fly to Wa in the, I think it's Upper West region, you can fly to Takoradi in the western region. And then you can fly to Ho in the Volta region. Currently, the flights to the Volta region have been on hold. They said that they didn't have enough people flying, and the cost of fuel has gone up so high that they decided to put the flights on hold temporarily. So I don't know when they're going to start those flights up again. It's I think it's Passion Air that's doing those. I wish African World Air would also do those flights as well. But in any case, flying within Ghana, you can fly. They charge it in cities. Usually it's like the further, like anything, the further ahead you book, the cheaper it's going to be. But I've seen flights between like 250 up to like 500, 600 cities.
Like for one way?
Yeah, for one way or round trip, depending on when you make the purchase. Because I know people who've been able to do round trip, you know, for 300 cities if they bought way ahead of time. But if you're buying like last minute, you're saying, oh, I want to leave tomorrow, then it's going to cost you maybe 300 cities one way because you've booked it at the last minute.
Yeah, that's true. And then I think like to add what you were saying, it's expensive because like Africans don't own like a lot of these airline businesses, and these are like you still have to use major like international like flights, stuff like that. And these international flights, they are not made to travel like within the African like sub-region. So probably they are going out like maybe to Washington or maybe to New York or maybe to Vancouver or to Toronto, and maybe they're having a stop in Lomé or Nairobi, or maybe in like Kigali or Addis Ababa, and then you just like maybe like you hop on and you hop off. So it's kind of like more like there's like a whole discussion, Ivy. You know that?
Yeah.
Like, we have to like talk about this like a whole different like discussion, like talking about like, African trade and African commerce. So like it's true. It's not just with flights; it's with everything else. Like it's expensive to kind of like import something from another African country. More expensive to import from another African country than to import from China or to import from Turkey or to import from the US or from Canada. And so it's something like the one of the good things they did was the free trade and the continental
African continental free trade area.
Yeah, and these things are like going to open up the sub-region, and we are going to have like more businesses, more people doing businesses, airline businesses and stuff like that, and it's going to ease it. But for now, like you rightly said, it's so expensive and it's so cumbersome. Traveling like within Africa, like it's so difficult.
Yeah. For people who don't know, he mentioned the African Continental Free Trade Area, which was implemented officially last year. And basically, it is like a free trade agreement between African countries to make trade between the countries easier, because at this point, it had been hard for a long time that people are trading with countries outside of Africa. But why don't African countries trade within themselves? So this agreement it came into place last year, and it's supposed to help with African countries trading with each other better. And the headquarters for the Secretariat office of it is in Accra, Ghana. So that is something that we're hoping will make a big impact. Now, somebody commented on, I think when you said that, when you talked about the Ashanti region being the place with culture, somebody said there's an 800-year-old mosque in northern Ghana.
The Laibanga Mosque.
Yes, the 800-year-old mosque in Ghana. And this person asked, what is the name of the mosque? It is the Larabonga Mosque. For those who don't know and you've never been to the northern region of Ghana, the Larabonga Mosque is a big attraction. It's been there, as she said, it's been there for hundreds of years. One of the oldest mosques in West Africa. I'm going to show it right now for people who don't know it. And it is a tourist attraction, one that people don't often talk about, but it is a tourist attraction. If you're interested in going to northern Ghana, check out the Larabonga Mosque. It is a place that you can check out. I just thought I would show that. The Larabonga Mosque. Yeah, okay. So let me go back to the comments and let's see what else people are saying. What I think he means is that between the two major cities, Kumasi is keeping their culture. People wear more traditional clothes. It's true, people do wear more traditional clothes in Kumasi than they do in Accra. I definitely agree with that. Rakin says, thank you. Yes, I would like a discussion on imports and exports. Yeah, that's a conversation that I should have. I definitely will have that as another conversation on another day, because it is something that would be a deep dive. Ivy, thank you and your special guest for being here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate your comments. Then we have Kofi saying, choose Bongo and Bolgatanga.
Sure.
Airline routes are based on hub cities for cost purposes. Papi Agidi says that is the mosque we should develop to attract tourists instead of a cathedral nobody wants. Okay, so
That's
Papa Agidi's talking about there's a cathedral that Ghana is working on building, and it is definitely a political conversation that I don't want to get into right now. It's a heated conversation.
Nobody wants to talk about that.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Thanks, Ivy and Big Sam. Very informative session. You are most welcome. Make sure you all click on the like button and donate before you leave. Thank you, Kofi. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Let's see who else is here. Disian, very forthcoming and honest guest with nothing to hide. I can see he will go far in his business. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, Big Sam. I really appreciate you taking the time out. I know you've had a very busy day today. You were doing a lot, and so you fit this in, and I appreciate you. And I really want people to reach out to you, people who are looking seriously interested in getting land and seriously looking at investing in Kumasi, to reach out to you. Just a reminder, his website, we have less than 10 minutes here. His website is landhomesconsult.com. If you want to check it out, you can reach out to him by email, info@landhomeconsult.com. Or if you're in Ghana and you want to call, this is the number you can reach out to. Business hours, please be mindful of business hours. I mean, I've had people who come on and I give the number, and then they're like calling you and it's like midnight, and you're like, wait, I'm trying to sleep. It's midnight. So business hours. He's on GM. He's currently in the Ghana time. But I always find that email is good, because then you can always schedule when you're going to have.
It's always good.
Yeah, because then you can schedule when you're going to have a conversation when you do email. Do you have any last thoughts you want to share?
Well, thank you very much, Ivy, for your time too. I'm grateful you made time to also have me on. I'm so grateful. The whole point of this conversation is to help as many people as possible to invest in land and landed properties in Ghana, in Africa. And like I said, the race is on to get Africa developed, So as much as possible, we should make things easier for people. And I, for one, I'm all for I know Africa is going to be one of the nicest places, if not the nicest, and I'm hoping so. It's going to be rather than later. So all I have to tell everyone is stay put. We are working very hard. A lot of us guys, the younger generation, we are working very hard to put Africa on the map, and if you need any sort of help, we're getting land and landed property, any information about Ghana, about Kumasi, about culture, and the West African sub-region, feel free to contact me, and then we get it done. Thank you very much.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done. Definitely. I'm so glad that this was an informative session, having some really excellent conversation, really good information that is very useful for anybody who takes the time to have been here. Or you can share this video. Don't forget to share this video with other people who may be interested in some of this information, other people who may need to reach out to Big Sam so that he can, provide some guidance, and also he can show you some of his land that he has available, the properties that he's developing. Because I know this is not the last, getting land, investing in land and property is a long-term commitment.
Yeah.
So it is something that you need to make sure that you ask all your questions, you get all the information, and you're able to, work with people like him who are honest and will give you the feedback that you need to be able to make the right decisions. Before I close, I forgot to ask one thing that I remember somebody saying in the comments was if you offer payment plans with your land and property, because that's something that a lot of people ask.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, if the price is steep, then we offer payment plans. We did with one or two plots with a Dar es Salaam and with some properties, but yeah. But everybody wants their money up front, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I agree. People want their money up front. So all right. So thank you so much, everybody who has been here. I appreciate you. Sam, don't leave just yet. Once we end the live, I just want to have a quick chat with you when we're done. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Don't forget, if you like this video and you think someone else will be interested, to share this video, click the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button so that you can get notifications. Hit the notification bell, actually, so you can get the notifications of future video uploads. If there's anything you want me to talk about, you can also put it in the comments and I can look at it for potential topics for future videos. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. Happy Sunday. And I hope that you have a good a good beginning of the week next week. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.